saw a show in London, a stage show, and I thought, well, first of all, I had no idea that Judy Garland had, really towards the very end of her career, performed for these 5 weeks. And so I saw this, and I thought, oh my God, how amazingly thrilling. And I went to the Hippodrome, and in the Hippodrome, on the wall within, it says, the world's greatest entertainer. There's a blue plaque that says the world's greatest entertainer. And I also looked up she had an album called Judy, 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 surprisingly, that was her live at Carnegie Hall. And again, I wasn't a huge Judy Garland fan at that point. And I listened to this album, and the reviews, and this isn't just one person, there's quite a few people, say it's the greatest single live performance album of all time. And if you listen to it, it is that. And I just became more and more intrigued by it. And the idea of telling this story within a short period of time. There's also the fact that she's viewed as this icon, gay icon, but also is sort of seen as one of those acts that touches the heart in a way that means that they have longevity. And it's kind of trying to, I suppose that was the thread that pulled me in. What is it about Judy Garland that means people are still talking about her all these years later? I mean, I knew Judy's songs, but not exhaustively. But, I knew the top 5, I would say, and I'd seen her on shows. And for me, I suppose a bit like Sinatra or Dean Martin or, any of the kind of older school, that's what she represented to me, a kind of an old school entertainer. I just became more intrigued by her as this survivor. I mean, I actually Googled at one point Judy gay icon, like trying to fundamentally get to the source of what it is that makes you, I don't know, remembered forever. And I do think the fact that she was knocked down and got up and was still an astounding powerhouse. She never lost the essence of who she was, even though she went through some incredibly tough times. But she could get on that stage and just knock it out the park. She was an incredible performer and, I think an incredible human being. So that's what ultimately, I suppose, got my attention. Choosing who to play Judy Garland, you have to choose somebody that's the right age. If you want to make a good and honest portrayal, I'm sure you could choose somebody that was 25 years old, and I think that probably some other people would have done absolutely like that. I wanted it to be as truthful and as authentic as it possibly could be. You need somebody that's courageous, because it is Judy Garland, in her, her later years. You can't have somebody that just cosmetically wants to appear to be 18 years old. You have to see the humanity and the reality within that person. You need somebody that's going to be able to sing. And, we knew from Chicago that Renee can sing. It's something that, happened a little while ago. It's not like she's singing in every movie, but we needed somebody that had that ability that we could kind of rely on. And, Judy's funny. You need somebody that's naturally funny. And Renee is. She's exactly that. And compassionate and can act. And it's, you do start to whittle down. You go, that person's 6'4", that person's 22, that person we've never heard singing. And you really, honestly, you whittle it down. And we literally went to one person to be Judy Garland. And I sent it to Renee's manager. And I'd known Renee some years ago, through work, but not incredibly well. But I sent it through, and I remember the moment, because I had nowhere to go. I really didn't know what I was going to do as a second choice. Forget about getting the film financed. Like, what do you do if you don't have the right person doing it? Do you make a bad TV movie? And I remember getting an email through saying, Renee loves it. We all do. And I was just, it was a real moment, like one of you get those moments in your life. This is my second film. and to get Renee, in my view, the absolute perfect person to play Judy Garland is just it's not going to happen often. So yeah, I couldn't see anyone else. And we hit the jackpot. It's one thing to be able to sing, and she did go through. She had an LA singing coach called Eric Vitro, who was was a great asset. She had a dialect coach who made her sing in the style of Judy specifically. It's one thing to be able to sing the songs and do it well. It is another to then have to do it in front of a crew and a big group of people, a couple of hundred people some days, and to suddenly expose yourself when that is not what you do for a living. It's very different to just acting, to go and give a performance when that's not your, the natural way of doing things. And also, by the way, you might be singing live, but you're singing live without the orchestra playing, so it's to a little earbud. So you really are totally exposed and out there, that because you can't have the the sound of the drums interfering with the sound of the vocals. So for her, it's bold, and it's quite a courageous thing to have to do. So you're looking at two things going on there. She really is performing in front of an audience. Not only is she singing live, she's performing and exposing every last detail of her voice without being submerged in a band to hundreds of people, and she's knockout. We had our rap party at the Hippodrome, the talk of the town, as it was previously, and we were standing. They have a small stage that's kind of that you don't generally see, and it's above the stage that Judy performed on. So that night, people came and they didn't know it, and it was true, absolutely, that we had the sparks and the grips, kind of looking around and going, "This is where it happened. This is where it happened." And there's no doubt it affected everybody as we were going through this process. And each person feeds off everyone else. That Renee is taking it so seriously, and that the writer is taking it so seriously, and that we've got people that are coming to the set that were there when it actually happened. So, there's nowhere to run and hide. You have to be at the top of your game. And I hope when people see the film that they will feel that we've done it with love and with honour. And that was certainly the intention from everybody.